What are the things no one tells you about living alone? That if you don't work to actively maintain your relationships, they'll all fade away. How amazing it is that every single thing is always right where you left it. There's a difference between being alone by choice and alone by means outside of your control. Being alone by choice is addictive. How addictive solitude is. It's difficult to go back to cohabiting if you've spent a decent amount of time living entirely on your own terms. I quite often miss living alone. It was bliss. Once you get used to it, it's extremely hard to have another person to share space with. It's awesome, not having to work around everyone else's bathroom schedule. You don't have to wait an hour for anyone else to shower. You can make a wok full of popcorn at 2 a.m. and no one can stop you. Chew carefully. They rarely mention the freedom. The power you hold to govern each and every hour down to the last second. They always mention the doom and gloom of solitude. You will learn that all menial chores will in fact not get taken care of by themselves. Don't let things pile up. Don't leave a bunch of dishes in the sink and think I'll do it tomorrow. Don't let multiple loads of laundry get backed up and think I'll get to all of them later. Do it now. Wash that cup now. Put that plate in the dishwasher now. When you have enough for a load of laundry, do it now. Letting pile up wears on you. And it's not like there's someone else around to lean on when you just can't even today. Force yourself now and it'll become second nature pretty quick. That after a time, when you have done work on yourself, you only want people who have worked on themselves too. No more asking to stay. Wanna stay, stay. Wanna go, go. The level of peace you reach is astounding. You absolutely need a daily routine to keep yourself focused and making progress on bills, work and life itself. You also need medication in case you get sick unexpectedly, and most importantly, you seriously need to be careful and cautious when doing stuff home alone because there is no one there to save you. I keep my phone charged and with me around my spot in case something does happen. I can call 911. I also have check-ins with friends/family each day, just a text or a message of good morning/good night, so at least there's a checkpoint that I'm okay. The plan is if 24 hours with no reply to, then it's a phone call, and 36 hours it's call the local popo for a check. To me, it's just how it is being 50 and bodies can give out unexpectedly. I'm blessed that my GF stays every other weekend at my spot, so it breaks up the entire aloneness. I do seriously recommend living alone for a few years in your life to truly get to know yourself deeply. Living alone is addicting. You will reach a point of realization when you see that being alone is so much better than risking disturbing your own peace. You should create a cleaning schedule so your accumulated mess doesn't overwhelm you. One day for laundry, one day for dishes, etc. If your house looks horrible, any women you bring over might just turn back around. If you have a lawn and have to maintain it for the neighborhood, don't go more than 3 weeks without cutting it. Someone will report you to the city and you'll get a warning. I still don't know who did it to me. I was leaving a hill in the backyard alone. They didn't like that. When you move out, you might want to leave a note to say that all your friends know where your new place is, and anyone attempting to break in and use that excuse is a robber and not a friend. Yes, this happened to me. We asked the new people why they believed it. When you move places, shut off all your utilities to the old house. It doesn't matter if friends are moving in and they just need a few weeks to turn theirs on. Those bills stay in your name and if they fail to pay and shut it off cause you trusted them. If you don't know a lot about general home maintenance, look up an easy checklist. Your vents need wiped off, filters need changed, batteries switched out, etc. It is very easy to forget about it and then wonder why the HVAC is acting up. Ideally, you do want enough in savings to pay your monthly bills for 3 to 6 months worth, just in case a freak accident occurs and you're out of work. Whilst inflation is making groceries seem insane, you should do the math before you decide to eat out every day because you can burn through money fast. If you don't already have medicine for the off chance you get a cold/fever/stomach bug/sleep aid, go ahead and stock up so when you get sick you don't have to worry about running to the store and the store being out. On that note, you saw the toilet paper shortage. You should have an extra of supplies just in case. It is cheaper in the long run to buy a nice bidet. Memorize your garbage day. You are going to be so poised at yourself when you accidentally miss it and now you have garbage piling up for a week. You're going to want to jump on as many auto pays as the bills are able so you don't forget, and all of a sudden the electric gets shut off. You get to randomly decide to drop your pants whenever it's amazing. You'll see them on the floor or something after having just woken up and just say not today, pants. Or I'll just be walking through my apartment fully clothed and out of nowhere be like, yeah, I'm done with these for the day, and take my pants off and keep doing whatever I'm doing. I'll tell you what though, please don't make this a habit and then invite your girlfriend's parents over for dinner. Buy a plunger before you need one. You're welcome. You might experience loneliness to a level where you may not be able to distract yourself. You just sit in it. Personally, living alone completely killed my desire to get married. I could talk about alcohol, the pros and cons if I wanted to, but the reality is that while I lived with others, I wanted to date and have a serious relationship. Now that I've lived alone, it's so peaceful and great that I've realized being in a serious relationship will almost 100% make me less happy than I am now. Nobody to ask for help when you're sick. You know how when you lived with roommates or with your parents, you had plenty of opportunities to bring girls back home? Or you'd find yourself in a situation where you could ask a girl to go back to your place but you couldn't take her back because you live with parents or with 4 roommates. Now you think, well, since I live alone, I can bring back all the girls I want, right? Guess what? Now that you live alone, girls virtually disappear from the planet. I remember when I first moved out on my own, no roommates, no parents, no friends staying with me for a while, no siblings, nobody but me, and guess what? Couldn't bring a girl home for like 9 months. Quick edit, with all the comments I'm getting, this was before Tinder and Bumble and all the other dating apps. This was in the before time when you had to go to a bar and meet people. This was in 2007. A lot of people are missing my point. It's not that I was trying too hard. It's that when I was living with parents/roommates, I always found myself in situations where I was with girls out and about, social situations, bars, blind dates, like that. And then when I got my own apartment, suddenly no one was setting me up on blind dates, no one was inviting me to parties. When I'd ask girls out on dates, they said no. And on and on. You choke on something and you're going to be in serious trouble. I've been told that you can self-Heimlich yourself over the back of a chair, but I don't see this working that well. It's lonely, especially after losing someone you love. You miss the little things. Singing from the shower, coffee brewing, his snoring, most importantly his laughter. It gets lonely. I mean, there were weeknights where I was like, okay, I'm bored, I guess it's time for bed. And it was only 8 p.m. and I'm fairly introverted. So getting lonely is not something I feel a lot. It's perfectly acceptable to with the bathroom door open. You can wake up in the morning and no one has planned your entire day for you, starting with expensive brunch. And you can stay and have your beer and watch something. You may feel isolated if living far from family and friends. To avoid, be sure to have planned always up to 3 weekends in advance. Especially if you work from home like me. This is a valuable truth and I add it. It's honestly surprising how many people are terrible at this, without intending to be bad about it. Oh boy, I am about to live on my own for the first time in 3 years. Pre-corona, had many friends. Now not so much. Fresh out of a relationship. I've got to say I'm scared. True. The real kicker though is that sometimes that can be more of a blessing than a curse. Once you learn to be alone without being lonely, it can be so peaceful and calming to just be on your own. To not have other people that you need to constantly interact with or they'll take it personally. To come home from work on Friday and realize that you don't have to meet a single other soul until Monday unless you want to. It's a rare kind of freedom that most people don't get to feel, and one that even fewer people understand. Counterpoint. There is no one to blame when you lose something. I live alone and was seeing someone she used to stay over the weekends. Always rearranging my fridge and kitchen. Can't grumble while I was having a lay and she was hoovering and cleaning even though I said just put the TV on. Once you realize you can detach yourself from day-to-day problems of other people, it's hard to go back. I've recently gone from living alone for 8 years to living with my parents because they're old and need help. My dad is mostly deaf. They fight like honey badgers. They have TVs always going and all the lights on. It is absolutely overwhelming some days. In my own place, I don't play music and haven't had a TV since the early 90s. I even have a dog that doesn't bark. Lol. Such a difference. Nothing better than coming home and doing whatever you want. Fry bacon at 10 p.m., get and pass out on the couch covered in potato chips. Who cares? Live free, there's no one else to bother. I miss my last place for that reason. How addictive solitude is. Yes, the downside is having guests/company/doing things with other people can start looking like a bigger and bigger chore rather than a relaxing or fun time even if you don't cohab with them. Solitude is loneliness' better-looking sibling. Definitely this. Being able to retreat to a space you fully control, and be all by yourself is amazing. I currently am seeing someone who I am definitely sure I'll end up living with, and I've already told her if we do move in, we're gonna need a big place and I'm gonna need a lot of space. Even when I stay over at her place I sometimes go to the bathroom for an hour or more just for the solitude. Yes, but it's easier to notice when someone doesn't add value to your life, isn't? That's why I /shower/all at the same time. I'm considerate that way. I had to really pull the reins on myself because of this. I was eating half a cake at 3 a.m. shirtless on the couch watching cartoons. This person's been paying attention. This is honestly one of the main thoughts I had the night I moved into my own place last year, and it was such a weird feeling. And some don't really need to be done weekly. I have so much cleaning to do. This is exactly the point I'm getting to, and it's only been 2 years. I've done a lot to work on myself and I've been cutting out most of the people I used to be friends with. I dated a woman that was in a similar place in life, and after that if I notice someone isn't trying to keep it moving every day I'm just not interested. So glad to see that several people are saying this because honestly it's the thing I struggle with the most. I have lived alone for 6 years now, just me and the dog. I am trying to date and I'm on online dating, but I love living life on my terms by myself. I don't have a safety net like other people do, but I don't care. I've had enough trauma from other people things up. If my life is up I want it to be because I did something wrong, not because I had to absorb someone else's problems, attitude, mistakes, and spitefulness. Yup. I didn't actually realize how much went into keeping a lived-in space perfectly clean until I lived alone the first time. Schedules, people. Don't let anything get behind or you love it. I did. It's not really for lack of women as it is a lack of connectedness to your friend network. So correct. I tend towards solitude and value my weekends but would like a partner, so I'm also trying to be out and around people. It's a tough balance. The silver lining is that people are also generally very open to reconnecting after not keeping in touch for a while. Sure there is, I just blame the ghosts. If your girl is cleaning your place when she's staying over it might be a sign that she thinks it's too gross to stand. Honestly, counting down the days my apartment is being built. It isn't large, but all that peace of mind is priceless. Solitude is peace in your own space. Loneliness is a deafening silence wherever you go. Greater than a space you fully control. This is it. Having to deal with other people's mess and moods is mentally exhausting and can put you in a state of hypervigilance, which is a terrible way to live and easier to spot when someone does add value. Just got a waffle, stomp it down the shower drain. It's a blessing and a curse. It's weird, because I've never choked in my life, but when I lived alone, or travel alone for work, I'm suddenly very conscious of the possibility. But some really do. It's okay. Do one task a day and it'll soon be clean. The struggle is real. Grew up on my own and very independent. Guess this is the other side to that coin. I'm finding out, One has to put effort in creating and maintaining relationships. That's true, but of course one of the two people who both inevitably failed to maintain that friendship also have to make that first step towards reconnecting. Oftentimes it's seen as too awkward to do so given enough time has passed, even though most of the time it would be received positively by either person. It's funny, in a sad kind of way,